Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Welcome to the Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated New Sigma Chapter Oratorical Contest here at Simon Gratz Mastery Charter School. Okay. My name is Ross Hamilton, and I am the Director of Education for New Sigma, as well as a proud Gratz teacher here in the upper school. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the men of New Sigma for sponsoring today's event, as well as Simon Gratz Mastery Charter School for hosting us and providing the resources needed to make today's success. Mr. Parker, if you could please stand. Thank you to Mr. Parker for all your dedication to students of the lower school, as well as the upper school, and also helping out with this event as well. So teachers, students, parents, members of the community, we thank you for extending your day today to be here with us. You'll definitely be here in for a treat. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated was founded on the campus of Howard University on January 9th, 1914, by three of our illustrious founders: Abram Langston Taylor in the middle, Leonard Francis Morse to the left, and Charles Ignatius Brown. These three men came together to uplift their community as well as race through brotherhood, scholarship, and service. The men of Sigma are men of vision, men of service, men of culture, and men of leadership. Our motto is culture for service, it's service for humanity. That's who we are, that's what we're about, that's what we do. We have three national programs which fall around bigger, better business, social action, and of course, education. For bigger, better business, we have the Sigma Wellness Program, we have Project C, geared towards economic development in our communities. For social action, we have the March of Dimes. We work very closely with the American Cancer Society. And for education, we promote scholarship, and we're doing exactly what we're doing today, such as the Oratorical Contest. Will the men of New Sigma please stand? Gentlemen, thank you for your dedication to the community of Philadelphia. Thank you for your investment in education here at Simon Gratz Mastery Charter School. We truly appreciate it. Let's begin. Today's competition will consist of 8 students from across the lower school as well as upper school. We have 1 sophomore, 3 juniors, and 4 seniors, all of whom are competing in their first oratorical contest. What I would like to do right now is I'm going to call them out in the order of their presentation. Everybody have their pamphlet? Okay, so the first to the stage that we're going to call out is Zaire Johnson, who's a junior. We have Jabir Kennedy, senior. Jabir will be attending the Community College of Philadelphia in the fall. Next, we have Maintain Jackson Bay, the only sophomore representing lower school. Very debonair, I might add. We have Amir Spurgeon, who's a junior. I would also like to add that Amir, who's a junior, will be attending our dual college program at CCP next year. Congratulations, Amir. We have Simone Collins, who's a senior. Simone will be attending Susquehanna University in the fall. We have David Brown, senior. David will be attending Cheney University in the fall. We have Keanu Davis, a senior. Keanu will be attending Susquehanna University in the fall. And finally, we have Deshaun Benshop, Jr. I'll be remiss would the members of the Simon Gratz community, teachers, staff, admin, please stand? Thank you. have today is Brother Angelo Reeder of New Sigma, Brother Rashawn Howard of New Sigma, Brother Brandon Brown of New Sigma. Gentlemen, I do not envy you in a task that you're going to have before you. So the judges will be using the following criteria. We will look at the contestants' introduction, the content of their speech, the presentation, as well as the conclusion. The judges will have, the contestants will have between 5 and 6 minutes for their speeches. Mr. Parker will be the timekeeper. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Parker will alert you at the 4-minute and 30-second mark, as well as the 6-minute mark as we practice. So, topic. Despite the rise of an educated African-American professional class, and despite many economic and social advances for African-Americans as a whole, inner-city urban areas have remained underinspired and underdeveloped for so long that they have developed a seemingly permanent sense of despair. These areas remain stubbornly prone to epidemics of social dysfunction, and particularly to problems related to crime and drug abuse. How do we mobilize to change this problem? The prize winnings for today's event will be $500 for first place, $200 for second place, and $100 for third place. All of the winnings will be presented on June 18th during the Simon Grass Mastery Charter School Senior Awards Night. This is first for all the contestants. The winner will also more than likely give a speech, the same exact speech, during the 2014 commencement activities as well. Didn't even land that on you, but that's what I confirmed. So we are about to begin. I'm excited. Are you excited? Yeah. Excited. So the first up will be Zaire Johnson.
Hello, my name is Zaire Johnson, and I'll be talking to you about why the youth does not have the urge to take ownership of the dysfunction and disparity in our culture. Since the topic is education, think about it for a minute. What are we really learning? Or are we learning to be controlled through the lack of self-awareness by the education that we're being given in our schooling systems? What really pristines to our community is that the fact that the Moors were here in America before the Europeans set foot on the land of freedom. So what we're really doing is injecting false information that does not empower us. So is it the kids, or is it what we're teaching the kids? Example, in history, we are being digressed. We are not making progress. That is why it is so important to learn the truth. Unlike a large percentage of the education that we're being given in his story, we must learn our story. Learning the past is one of the most important subjects, so let's fill our minds with truth in our story, not his story. Along with this hypothesis and facts, what type of conditions are we living under in our neighborhoods? Drugs, gun violence, also the incarceration of so many African American males and females. So what do I have to say through this? It must stop, and it will stop, no matter the cost. We are and we will be the future, and we must shine with power, knowledge, and confidence for our future seeds. Now, your head must be pounded with mystery. How, when, and where do we start? We must start by building unity with our future seeds, and I am and you are a part of that bridge of unity. We will navigate our consciousness to build programs that are specifically designed for all age groups. We will have open classes for the youth to express themselves amongst each other so we can grow as a culture and begin fixing our community within ourselves. This program will be specifically designed. This program will have ways where we can be self-dependent. The youth will learn the importance of self-respect, sex education, hygiene, health, wealth, dieting, theater, music, meditation, and more. They will express their ideas, and we will use their ideas. This program will begin in Philadelphia and expand. Now, why am I so passionate about fixing what's wrong? If we don't take ownership of the dysfunction and disparity in our community, who will for us? No one, because it is us who have to make the change. We're the ones with the problem. Now tell me, why should anyone else want to get their hands dirty if we're not even cleaning up ourselves? That is why starting these programs will be so detrimental to our health, and well-being, also our all-around lives. Make the decision. Invest money, time, and energy to the past or the future. Choose one. And that is why I think the youth does not take ownership of the dysfunction and disparity in our community. Thank you.
Check. Good evening. My name is Jabeer Kennedy. I'm a senior here at Simon Grant's Mastery Charter School. I'd like to thank the men of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity for sponsoring today's event here at Grant's. I stand before you all today to discuss that despite the rise of educated African American social class,
Take your time, brother.
No problem. Despite the rise of an educated African American professional class, and despite many economic and social advances for African Americans as a whole, inner city urban areas have remained under-inspired and underdeveloped for so long that they have developed a seemingly permanent sense of despair. These areas remain stubbornly prone to epidemics of social dysfunction, and particularly to problems related to crime and drug abuse. How will we mobilize this problem? I say we stop making excuses, putting things off, worrying about these things. If we could do these things, make a plan, say a prayer, and get to it. I want to start by addressing education. For Malcolm X said, education is the passport to our future. The future belongs to one who prepares for it today. While many may argue that education in urban areas does not meet the criteria of fulfilling education, with reports that 22% of the adult population in Philadelphia lack basic literary skills. This same 22% accounts for 250,000 individuals. This will mean that 250,000 individuals are not properly educated. And we all know the opposite of educated is ignorance, in the sense that ignorant means the lack of knowledge or information. What we do to mobilize this problem, drugs, crime, is give our youth an outlet. Meaning that, we give them a place to express themselves. Like, say one of my colleagues likes to play basketball. We give them an after-school program to play basketball, to do what they love to do. This keeps the youth out of the streets and closer to what they love to do, building their craft, and many other things. I want to also go into the racial inequality in colleges and the ratio of black men going to jail than going to college. From 2000 to 2001, there were actually more black males in jail than in college. I believe there are about 800,000 men in jail, 840,000 men in jail, and about 700,000 in college. Through the recent years, there have been more black men in college, about 1.4 million in college, with about still that same number in prison, 840,000. Well, that's my speech. I'd like to thank you.
Hello and good evening. My name is Maintain Jackson Bay. I'm a sophomore here at Simon Grassmaster Charter. I would like to thank the men of the Phi Beta Sigma fraternity for presenting this opportunity. The topic of my speech is the critical purpose of nationality in relation to the so-called black society. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and first to bring Islam to America, stated, nationality is the foundation of mankind, and whomsoever fails to proclaim his nationality is a slave in whatsoever land he finds himself. The destruction of nationality demobilizes and stagnates a society's growth while dissipating the resources of power and their ability to identify themselves as a source of power. Nationality is the quality or character which arises from the fact of a person belonging to a nation. Nationality is something non-tangible. Nationality is the complexion of a collective bond by common ancestry and habitation. In other words, nationality is collective objective, collective purpose, aims, or goals. Nationality is something that must be proclaimed, taught, practiced, and lived. Yes. Edward W. Blyden, a 19th century historian and statesman, stated, nationality is the ordinance of nature. We, the Negroes, shall never receive the respect of other nations until we the Negroes shall never receive the respect of other nations until we establish a powerful nationality. And no people can rise to an influential position among the nations until we establish a distinct and efficient nationality. So how do we mobilize to change the problem of social dysfunction with our people, in particular problems related to crimes and drug abuse? The 2008 statistics, according to the Bureau of Justice, states the racial composition of the U.S. and jail population is 60.21% of so-called Negro, Black, and African Americans, which make little over 13% of our U.S. population. Right. Please understand that once the racial and ethnic identity is removed and substituted for inferior brands such as Negro, Black, Colored, and African American, etc., we are not being our true character and being something someone else wants us to be. This creates a high level of weakness and dysfunction that renders the group powerless and socially paralyzed. Like a nation full of single-parent homes, a nation where our people are locked up in jails for most of their lives, a nation where people kill each other and no one cares. Come on now. We are the only people that's had a name change every few years. So what's the solution? The solution is proclaiming your nationality and practicing the 5 basic principles. Love, showing love no matter what. Truth, truth that says not to cast an evil eye on your fellow man, and it will set you free. Peace. Peace that has that is the humble part of you that has happiness in your life. Freedom. Freedom that says that you can be you, your peaceful and powerful self. Justice that says not to cast an evil eye on your fellow man and his property. A person who has a nationality desires to do good. And from the largeness of his mind, he comprehends in his wishes the happiness of all men. From the generosity of his heart, he endeavors to promote it. In other words, if teens and adults practice the importance of nationality, they will respect themselves and wouldn't put themselves and others in dangerous situations.
Yes, sir.
Like the great Marcus Garvey stated, nationhood is the only means by which a modern civilization can completely protect itself. I'm going to leave you with this thought. If dogs can have nationalities, such as German Shepherds, French Poodles, why can't we? Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Amir Spurgeon and I'm a junior here at Simon Grace Mystery Charter. Human progress is neither automatic nor inevitable. Every step toward the goal of justice requires sacrificing, suffering, and struggle, the tireless exertion and passionate concern of dedicated individuals. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "To say that African Americans have come a long way since the Civil Rights Movement is an overstatement. There are still many issues that our community and our people face every day that our nation knows about. Education, the source of knowledge, it lacks in our communities because young black men and young black women do not have mentors and people of similar backgrounds to support them. Although there has been a rise in educated black individuals, there is still a lingering issue of how many black people are being educated. There is not enough black individuals with degrees and lucrative careers, which by default affects the rest of the community and its future. What bothers me is the excessive amount of black individuals who are okay with the level of destitution they are in. I am ashamed to say that I have witnessed my family struggle on welfare and be okay with it. That is something someone should not succumb to instead. This is a direct result of lack of knowledge and poor education, and it is detrimental to society. And not just the black communities. The simple fact that poverty and lack of education is detrimental to society. So what do? How can we as a community better ourselves? How can we mobilize change? I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to move as one. We need to move as a unit. That is how the Civil Rights Movement worked. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Could he have been successful without Rosa Parks' activism and other leaders? Could the Montgomery bus boycott been effective without people to march? The answer is simply no. It has been proven through history that together we can change anything and everything. And education is a must. Educating communities is not an individual responsibility. Spreading wisdom is more than just our elders. We learn something new from each other each and every day. And it is beneficial that we not only teach, but we inspire and uplift each other. It offends me to see how many people are so nonchalant about our community's well-being. The amount of crime and drug abuse in our communities is disgraceful. Daquan shot young Christopher. Melinda was raped senselessly by an unidentified black man. Black people especially are already targeted and ostracized in the media. Is this what we want to be known for? In another instance, a couple weeks ago, 5 underage teenagers were involved in a car chase with the police and it ended in a dangerous car accident. One of those teenagers was a part of our community, Greg's community. It's a shame to hear how something so harsh and terrible can happen to one of our own. This is our community. Is this what we want to be known for? Is this what we want everyone to see us? We hate to be portrayed negatively, but do we not contribute? Do we not paint our own pictures? Black people often have a bad reputation because of consistent black-on-black crime and historical reflection. We didn't overcome oppression and racism to still be looked at as a minority because of our actions. If we did better, wouldn't we do better? Not fashion or style, but dignity and integrity. We should see little black boys and little black girls. We should see everyone doing more positive things and not hearing them being abducted from school or hurt on their way home or hurt in a car accident. We should see more and more students walking across stages, receiving diplomas and receiving degrees and giving speeches like this one. The social dysfunction in our communities is causing our youth to be uninspired and unmotivated. I challenge you to wake up one day and evaluate yourself. Because in essence, success and change starts within yourself. And if everyone had that same mindset, society would be a better place. As I look out in the audience, I see students here. How could we have done this? I see educated black people with degrees, and I see teachers. I see people who actually care about our community. We need your help. Help us get there. You've done it, so why not help us? We're the next future leaders. We're the next doctors. We're the next teachers. It's important to us to learn and achieve the greatness you have. I want to leave you on one note. This quote was given by Malcolm X, and it says, "We need more light about each other. Light creates understanding. Understanding creates love. Love creates patience, and patience creates unity." I would like to give my sincere gratitude to Phi Beta Sigma fraternity for allowing me to display my activism and allowing us to show how we can advocate for a better future. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Simone Collins, and I'm a senior at Simon Gratz Mastery Charter High School. I'm proud to say that I'll be attending Susquehanna University this fall. First and foremost, I would like to thank the gentlemen of the Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated for sponsoring today's oratorical contest. Our race is undoubtedly on the rise. We have a black president, Barack Obama, who has done such a wonderful job of cleaning up America after what Bush has left them with. We also have African American members of Congress, such as John Lewis and Shaka Fatah. In addition, African American entrepreneurs have done significantly well and have risen from negative areas to upper class America. For example, Dr. Dre with his recent $3.2 billion deal with Apple for his Dre B earphones, Oprah Winfrey and her own television network, and Russell Simmons and his Rush card. Now consider these great African American accomplishments that I've just shared with you. What do they all have in common? They have all been positive things that have come about through hard work and determination. But I ask you this, what happens when there is a lack of drive, no motivation, no desire to achieve some form of success? Because that seems to be the increasing problem in inner city urban areas today. Several cities, such as Philadelphia, is filled with youth that no longer has any hope for their futures. They feel as if they are stuck where they are and have become content living in despair with feelings of entrapment. 8 out of 10 of these people end up turning to a life of crime and violence. According to The Economist, one of the most dangerous cities was Baltimore, with 282 murders last year out of a population of about 630,000. 89% of these murder victims also had a criminal record. So there may be a link between drugs and murder rates. Similarly, in Philadelphia, the police have noticed an upward trend in gang and drug activity. For example, a 28-year-old man by the name of Omar Rodriguez was shot in the face over what was presumed to be heroin. They called that white powdery substance. In addition, NBCPhiladelphia.com shows that we have over 65 homicides in Philadelphia this year alone, which is 11% over the tally of last year at the same exact time. This is madness, but it is what people are driven to do in order to survive in the reckless urban areas of today. So how do we mitigate this problem that could continue to grow even more in years to come? I recently spoke with someone who's very close to me, who was one of the hopeless youth who occasionally engaged in these activities. It all started, he said, when he was 13 years old and he joined the Bloods. By the time he was 16, he was incarcerated, and when he was released, he just quit going to school altogether. From then on, it's been a series of odd jobs, short employment gigs, and some on and off drug dealing. That's sad, right? I proceeded to ask him, what do you feel like was the worst decision that you made out of all these things? If there was one thing you could do to go back and change, what would you do? He told me that out of everything, out of joining the Bloods, out of being locked up, all of that, he wished he would have continued his education because that would have been his ticket out of Philadelphia. So according to him, the way out of here is only through education, unless by some miracle you get famous and make it big. And I believe and support his assertion. So how can this change come about? By implementing more GED programs and encouraging young African Americans to further their education, whether it be twilight school or community college for 2 years, to transfer into a college somewhere farther away from here so that you can get out of this rut that they're in. By attaining an education and gaining control of your own future, you too would aid in the movement of advancing African Americans and escape the depressing sea of quicksand that could seem inescapable at times. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David D.J. Brown. I'm a senior at Simon Grant's Mastery Charter and will be attending Cheney University's upcoming fall. I would like to thank Mr. Hamilton and Mr. Parker and the rest of the members of the Phi Beta Sigma fraternity for allowing me to speak in front of all you beautiful people today. But let's get down to business. I have come today to discuss something near and dear to my heart. Us. Yes, us. You, me, your children, my future children. I need you all to take a few seconds and think past just your homes or your blocks or your families, but the African American community as a whole. Think of those who fought and bled for us. Think of those who said no and did not move from the front seat of a Montgomery City bus. Think of those who marched through the streets of the United States of America, facing racism, violence, incarceration, and so on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is much bigger than just Philadelphia. According to the United States Bureau of Justice Statistics, 1 in 3 black men can expect to go to prison in their lifetime. This statistic deeply saddens me. A wave of violence, drugs, prostitution, and worst of all, a sense of miserableness has swept our African American communities. And it seems as though we are the everlasting funk that our suffering will never end. While I stand here today in front of you all proud black men to say, I disagree. Marcus Garvey once said, God and nature created us, and out of our own, we made genius. We must do for ourselves what we will. Keyword, ourselves. We can no longer continue to just live for ourselves. We can no longer continue to scream at the politicians for help. My brothers, my sisters, we must galvanize our people to help support each other instead of pull each other down. We must join together as one to take back our streets, to take our young ones off the corners, to put them in classrooms and inspire them to reach for greatness. But in order to do this, when we see each other, we cannot see some random guy or some random girl, but a family. The only way we can pull our black communities all over out of darkness is become one big family. A family full of future leaders, teachers, policemen, lawyers, and so on. No one will help us if we cannot help ourselves. I'm simply asking one thing. Become a better neighbor. Instead of dismissing those around you, listen to them. Become their confidant. Give them words of advice. Treat their children as though they are your own. Give them a roof to rest their head over, if so needed. An overwhelming sense of unity must permeate through the African American community. No one should have to deal with the struggles of life alone. We should all join together as one to end one thing: despair. I was raised in a single-parent household, a mother and a father in one. Today, my mother is a registered nurse, very successful in her field, good pay, good benefits. But her road to success it was not easy. She did not do it alone. Thanks to my grandparents who gave me words of advice and knowledge. Thanks to people at church that would keep me occupied. Thanks to the neighbors that would watch me while my mother was in school for free. I see you, Mom. Though none of these people were responsible for me, they all kept me. They nurtured me. They watched over me. They installed integrity in me. And I believe that is the sole reason why I'm standing in front of you all today. No one will help us if we cannot help ourselves. What I'm simply saying, we have to support our single mothers. Not just for them to improve themselves, but for the future and sake of their children. Excuse me. Our youth, we need more mentoring programs for our youth. We need more after-school programs for our youth to keep them off the streets. I also believe we need to establish a neighborhood watch in our African American communities instead of just depending on the police who are never there on time. It's the truth. Who are never there on time. People, what I come to you today is very important to say. Hold on. I'm sorry. Please don't misunderstand me. Please don't misunderstand me. I want us all to protect each other. We cannot be afraid to protect each other. Black people have been considered many things throughout the years, but cowards are not one of them. The men of our community must stand together as one, with one goal in mind, to stop all those who look to dirty our streets and stop the African American community from being where it should be. Please do not misunderstand me. I'm not saying go and pick up a gun and shoot at the bad guys. I'm simply saying offer resistance. That is all I ask. These things I ask you today will not get done if we do not work together. We must all come together as one to improve all of our qualities of life. In the word of Marcus Garvey, up, you mighty race, accomplish what you will.
Good afternoon. My name is Keanu Davis, and I will be attending Susquehanna University to major in neuroscience. I'm a senior here at Gratz, and I would like to discuss what problems the Black community has today. African Americans are consumed by the thought of failure, crowned at birth as a defect of society. Given the title defect because we are seen only as a charity case, seen as creatures of arrogance, so they might say. It's not that we live in the ghetto or have any other problems. It's because we catch hell in America because we are Black. It's because we are given limits and only are seen as defects of society, so they might say. Our minds are clouded, only clouded by the figment of our profound imagination, captured by the forsaken fixation of our own profession. This holds our brothers in contempt. It holds our sisters in contempt. The clouds only getting darker the more that we believe in these rumors. Very few of us have yet to grasp the ability to call ourselves scholars, so they might say. Few have the willingness to do what's needed to do to provide a better future for themselves. We have the determination and so on, but yet we don't show the willingness to do anything. Let's prove America wrong. Let's prove these statistics. Let's prove these people that cast us out 400 years ago and put us in a bitter abyss to only call us stupid or whatever the case may be. It's time to go beyond the gates of doubt and to put all our brothers and sisters into better schools, into better places in general. Let us no longer be fancied by a prison sentence. It's a shame that 1 million out of 2.3 of our brothers and sisters are incarcerated. Take notice that if one isn't free, none of us are free. Take notice that another's arrogance is the ruling of our future. So they might say. Take notice that an angry mind is a narrow mind. Take notice that we have to act, not react because of one's arrogance. People always thought that the students here at Gratz, for those of you who knew about the old Gratz, they thought that we weren't going to be anything in life. But now, look at us now. We have proven the state, we have proven to people in general that we are more than just the creatures of arrogance that they saw us as. They say that 1 out of every 25 students of color cannot read on grade level. They say that. Is it right? Change the fact that 5,809 of our brothers and sisters have dropped out in only the past 2 years. Change it so that 5,810 have enrolled. Change it so that we can prove them that tomorrow can be better for us. We can change those numbers to prove that we can comprehend a math problem, that we can go into an English class and do humanities or anything that our teacher might give us. Stop letting this country, stop letting the state, stop letting these people tell us that we can't do something. Brothers and sisters, stop with the excuses and start proving others wrong. Our minds are our weapons, our thoughts and creativity are our ammunition. With these combined, our minds have the right to bear arms. Put down the weapons and pick up a book. It's time to prove them wrong. Let honor roll be honorable, not tragic. Let the arrogance of one be the insight to involve you in something positive. Let us take a stand and make right of our future. Thank you.
How's everybody doing? Good evening. I'd like to thank the fraternity for actually helping sponsor this. I couldn't be up here right now without you guys. And thank you to Mr. Hamilton and everyone for your support. Let me ask you guys this. What does the number 23 mean to you? Anybody, just anybody randomly. What does the number 23 mean to you? Michael Jordan? Anything else? I'll tell you what the number 23 means to me, but later on. Now, what does 400 million mean to you? A lot of money. It is a lot of money, isn't it? All right. Well, let's put it this way. To me, 23 means the number of schools that they closed down to build a $400 million prison. 23 means to me the amount of education, the amount of educational buildings and students that are going to lose and miss out on essential information that they need. 23, the number of areas that are losing their teachers, their principals, their educators, everything. And it goes much deeper than just a black and white thing or any of that. It's our community. And what's in the word community? Unity. How come there's no unity in our community? I ask you that. There's no unity in our community. All I can say about our communities is that we have no goal. Let me give you an example. The other day, I was walking home with my little brother, you know, just hopping along, doing our thing or whatnot, you know, and all of a sudden, this dude, right, who I used to look up to, that's right, I used to look up to him. He rides down in the street in his old Hummer or whatnot. You know what song he's blasting? I graduated from the streets, off the corner. Come, what? Okay, another dude circles around the block. What I hear him blasting is, young hitter, move that dope. Huh? Then I hear another dude roll around the street. You know what he's blasting? I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner. And all I'm thinking is, what is going through your head? At what point do you know, belittle yourselves? At what point do you try to put down your brothers and sisters? Because I listen to this music. I know my little brother is listening to this music. What type of idols does he have? I asked him, I said, little bro, come on. What do you want to be in life? And he laughed at me. And he said, man, come on, why you gotta get so serious? And I said, because, man, I'm serious. What do you want to be in life? You know what he told me? He said, I want to be a rapper like Meek Mills. So I laughed at him. I said, bro, you ain't got no bars. You don't got bars. You can throw that out right now. So he looks at me, he says, all right, then I'll be a basketball player like Rasheed Wallace. Then I said, but bro, you're not that tall and you can't make a three-pointer to save your life. So then he looks at me and says, fine then, I'll be the greatest quarterback in the league, just like Michael Vick. So I smiled at him and I said, okay bro, I'll give you that one. But now what if you get hit so hard in high school and you can't make it to the NFL? And he says, well bro, I really don't know what I'll do. So I says to him, I says, Kamal, you are so smart, just like me. So educated. You have potential, bro. I said, why not go out and become a doctor, a lawyer, or something else. And you know what he says? He says, Deshaun, how many doctors, how many lawyers do you know from our community that came from our community? And I thought, and I scratched my chin, and I'm like, honestly, bro, I can't even answer. Because there was no answer. Why is it that the names of famous rappers and things like that were able to be spewed out, but yet the name of a famous doctor couldn't be spewed out? Even as I stand in front of you today, I cannot spew one out for you. I cannot. That came from our communities. Look around you. Look to your left. Come on, right now, everybody in this room, look to your left. All right, now look to your right. What do you see? I'll tell you what I see. I see potential in a broken down society. Like I said before, we have no unity. I say we bring ourselves together. How do we fix this? Let's, instead of putting each other down and promoting each other to be rappers, gangsters, all of that, when we get those SSI checks and everything, let's take a part of that out of our checks and put it into our schools and our communities. I don't want my little brother to be in that $400 million prison. I want my little brother to be the next President of the United States, or Vice President, no, President. Thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen.
Can we give the contestants a round of applause? Excellent job, you guys did it, excellent. While the judges are tabulating the first, second, and third place winners, we're going to give certificate awards to the contestants. I'm very proud of them. They had about a month and change to work on this, and they didn't get paid to do this. A lot of them are actively involved in different programs within the school, and they took upon themselves to come after school and to hang tight for about an hour or two. So that's something to commend it. A lot of time in the media, you just hear about the negative things, but you really rarely hear about the positive things that are going on. It'll be a packed house if they're talking about a shooting, but it should be a packed house right now to hear these young folks, okay? The main thing that the men of New Sigma and the teachers here at Simon Gratz Mastery Charter School is we want our kids to lead forth with a confidence in themselves that they can compete on no matter what level. In my class earlier today, I encouraged my students, I said, how many of you want to be successful? Everybody raise your hand. I said, well, you better be prepared to give a speech. Because if you're successful in life, people are going to want to hear your recipe for success. They want to seek advice from you, so get used to it. But the only way that I get used to it is doing these programs that these young people are doing. So I applaud you. I applaud you. We're very proud of you.
So right now we're going to present each contestant with a certificate of appreciation. And I'll just read what this certificate says for all the contestants. Certificate of appreciation awarded to in recognition of your participation as a contestant in the Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated New Sigma Chapter 2014 Oratorical Contest at Simon Gratz Mastery Charter School, awarded this 27th day of May 2014. So our first contestant, Zaire Johnson. Jabir Kennedy. Maintain Jackson Bay. Amir Spurgeon. Simone Collins, the only female. David Brown. Keanu Davis. And last but not least, Deshaun Benscott.
While we're waiting for the judges, we're going to have some closing remarks. Ms. Terrell, would you like to give me closing remarks? Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Shayna Terrell. I'm the Community Engagement Manager here at Simon Gratz Mastery Charter. So first and foremost, I would really like to thank Mr. Hamilton and Mr. Parker for I think it's extremely important when people put together programs where our students can show off their positive attributes and speak up for something in their community and use their voices for something positive. So I just want to thank all of the contestants. You were really brave today. Your speeches were excellent, and thank you so much. It's just different when young men stand out from the crowd and do something different. So we surely appreciate that. They give so many negative examples and images of what our young black men are. So today you guys stood for something positive, and for that we appreciate you. So thank you. And I would just like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Of course, parents, we thank them, we love you. Without you, we wouldn't have them. So we appreciate you for giving us your shining, your bright star. So yes, I want to thank the parents. But on behalf of SGMC, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and supporting this event. I will definitely be talking to Mr. Hamilton and Mr. Parker about making this an annual event for us to have every year. But just thank you for coming out, and we appreciate you supporting this event.
All right. Good evening, everybody. On behalf of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, New Sigma chapter, we thank you guys, Simon and Grass Mastery Charter School, for allowing us to use the facilities. Students, thank you guys for your participation. Now let's get to what we all been waiting for, is the awards. We're gonna go third to first, okay? All right, so after a long deliberation, third place goes to Amir Spurgeon. Second place goes to David Brown. First place goes to the only sophomore maintained.
Wonderful thing. Grab it. Grab it. Bless you. Bless you. All right, gentlemen. Everybody look here. Beautiful. Everybody looks beautiful. Yeah. Wow. Well, it would be nice if you smiled. I can't see it. There you go. That's why Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.